Hello, my friends, and welcome back. There have been a growing number of individuals recently who are now too large to fit into conventional CT machines and are being sent to zoos to get the medical imaging that they need. It's not just CT machines, but various other forms of medical imaging as well, such as MRIs, also have a weight limit, which is causing some people to be referred to a zoo or vet. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this situation, as well as reading comments from several people who have opinions on the matter. Then we're going to be taking a look at a video from a woman who went through a similar situation, so be sure to stick around until the end. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache. Sometimes obese people can't get their CT scan at the hospital, so they are sent to the zoo. Getting sent to the zoo. See, sometimes people who are large can't use normal health equipment. Instead, they will be sent to the zoo. This allows them to get CT scans and similar procedures. Many people say this would give them the motivation to lose weight. What's your thoughts? Some people might see this as some sort of red flag. Other people might say that we need bigger CT machines. Alright, so that post asks the question, should this be motivation to lose weight? I don't know. What's the maximum weight capacity for a CT machine? Let's look it up. According to a quick Google search, a CT scanner weight limit typically ranges from 450 to 500 pounds for standard machines, but larger specialized bariatric scanners can accommodate patients up to 600 to 680 pounds. Okay, standard scanners. Most conventional CT scanners support around 450 pounds. The GE Optima Siemens series often around 500 pounds. Philips standard limits are often 450 pounds, and then they have bariatric and high capacity scanners that go up to 600, 660, and 675, or even 680. Okay, so it looks like the weight limit for a standard scanner is 450. So people that can't fit into a conventional CT machine might be just over 450 pounds. I would hope that you guys would send me to the bariatric CT machine that can accommodate somebody up to 600 pounds before you sent me to the zoo. You're like, all right, doc, I'm 460. Dang it, I can't fit into the conventional one. I guess I'm gonna have to go to the bariatric machine. No. You're gonna go to the zoo. Man, come on! Rowdy says, and that's a shame within itself. Skittles says, the embarrassment level must be pretty insane. Yeah, I bet that would be very embarrassing, and that might motivate a lot of people to change. Some people might think that they need bigger CT machines after this experience, but some people might be motivated to change. Personally, if I couldn't fit into a CT machine and I had to be referred to a zoo or a vet, I would definitely see that as a red flag or some kind of wake-up call. It would definitely make me take a thorough look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? This person says, that was my wake-up call. Okay, so you had to go get medical imaging done at a zoo or a vet, and that made you think, oh my God, what is going on? Okay. Very interesting. I'm very curious to know how many people on average are sent to the zoo to get a CT scan or an MRI. I bet it's pretty high these days. That's wild. You're laying in the MRI machine. You're like, what is this fur? They're like, oh, there was a bear in there earlier today. You're like, what the heck? It smells like aardvarks in here. What the hell? Yeah, don't worry about that. By the way, how the hell do you know what aardvarks smell like? You're actually right. That's exactly what was in there. How the hell did she know? I know a freaking aardvark when I smell one. I'm sorry, this video is getting very stupid. Things are getting dumb. I used to work at an auto repair shop, and we had a car come in for an alignment, and the customer was so big that we couldn't do it right without them in the car. It did not go well. I think you meant to say we couldn't do it right with them in the car. It did not go well when we had to explain it to them. We tried to be as nice as possible, and it still backfired terribly. Okay, so I don't know if they had to have them in or out of the car because they were so large to do the alignment. I don't know. This person says, I don't know where this is happening, but it's shameful people think this is funny. Usually a county will have a hospital that has equipment and a bariatrics department and an ER to treat bariatric patients. It's 2026. No one should be shamed for seeking medical care. Sometimes heavier people face health problems for many different reasons. I agree, nobody should be shamed for seeking medical care. Nobody should be made fun of because they had to go to the zoo or to the vet to use the MRI machine or CT scanner there. Nobody else needs to shame me when I need to go to the zoo to get an MRI. I feel all types of emotions all on my own. Hopefully these negative emotions motivate me to make positive changes in my life. The thing is, people can't really make you feel ashamed about things that you don't feel shame about. You know what I mean? Like if you came up to me and you're like, look at you, Cynical, you have a mustache. Psh, I would just be like, yep, I sure do. You're trying to make me feel bad about that. I wouldn't feel bad about that. You can't make me feel ashamed about something I feel no shame about. This guy says they also have to go to automotive shops to get weighed. Okay, that's not true. We would also be able to handle that at the vet or the zoo or whatever. Zoo might... I wasn't trying to be mean by saying that. Zoo Miami has a CT scanner for the animals. Patients who are too big, either their weight exceeds the table limit of the scanner or their girth is too large to fit in the gantry, have to be sent to the zoo if they need a scan in extreme circumstances. Oh, and that person's name is Cat Scan John. Okay, so we have some sort of CT scan expert here. Thank you very much, Cat Scan John. Thank you for your service specializing in CAT scans, my good sir. This person says, at that size, they don't need a CT scan to find out what's wrong. Okay, that's an interesting perspective. It is kind of interesting to keep going and getting all this medical imaging done as if you have some sort of mystery condition that nobody can quite pin down. You're like, Doc, I'm constantly fatigued, my knees hurt, my back hurts. What the hell is going on? Gee, I don't know. We're gonna have to, do a CT scan or something. I don't know. We've done CT scans. We've done MRIs. We did an X-ray. I did a prostate exam for some reason on you. I don't know why. I just threw that in there for the heck of it. And I still can't discover what the source of your ailments are. This person says, wake up call. Jesse Twang says, our scanner had a weight limit of 500 pounds, and not infrequently, patients would exceed it. And not infrequently. Okay, so frequently. Patients would exceed it. That was a very strange way of saying that. A double negative. This person says, I went to medical school in San Antonio, and we used to send the morbidly obese people to SeaWorld for an MRI or a CT scan, and they never got the hint. They would always be so excited that they were going to SeaWorld. Are you sure? I can't see people being excited for that, especially if it's SeaWorld. Something about having to get an MRI or CT scan at SeaWorld is far more embarrassing. I would be more embarrassed having to get a CT scan at... The freaking dog is snoring over there, man. I feel like needing to get medical imaging at SeaWorld is even more embarrassing than having to go to a zoo. You guys are gonna put me through the CT scanner that you use on whales? Aw, man, come on. Shamu has been through this MRI machine? Aw, man. This person says they love the attention. What? That is one of the dumbest comments that I have ever heard. Who would love to be sent to a zoo to get an MRI, CT scan, whatever? You don't think that would be embarrassing? They love the attention. Yep, people love being embarrassed. David says, negative 1,000 aura. Jenny says, if that doesn't make you change, nothing will. This person says, imagine being in the waiting room and there's an elephant before you. That would be funny. They're like, your CT scanner is almost ready. We just have to get Peanuts out of there. You're like, Peanuts? They're like, yeah, that's the elephant's name. It was just in there. We have to wait for him to get out of there. We have to actually leave a trail of peanuts out of the MRI machine so he will follow them into the other room. This person says, OMG, no wonder the doctor told me to take you to the zoo, sis. And then they have somebody's name that they mentioned. Oh, are we making fun of our friend? Let's see if that friend responded. They did respond with laughing emojis ×2. Don't know if that's a real story or we're just taking the piss out of our friend mate. This person says most major cities have at least one hospital that deals with bariatrics. They usually have a larger gantry CT. This person says, I've seen people not fit in one, but the zoo? That's crazy. Thick Guy, Thin Patience says, I love that name. Thick Guy, Thin Patience. Zoo got CT? Okay. His patience is wearing thin, but he's thick. All right. My patience is wearing thick, but I'm thin. What? That doesn't make any damn sense. Whatever, shut up. Dehumanizing, says Kimmy. I agree. I think it's a very embarrassing situation. I could see other people being completely mortified having to go to the zoo or a vet to get a CT or MRI scan. Many of them potentially mortified enough to make positive changes in their lives. So like, what the heck am I doing? Dude, I have to go into a zoo? There was a bear in here before me. Like, some people might be super embarrassed by that and make a bunch of changes in their lives. Some people might see this as, we need bigger CT and MRI machines. This person says everyone deserves the dignity of being able to get proper medical evaluation in a hospital. Being obese is not wise, but it doesn't detract from someone's humanity. James says that should be the rock bottom someone needs to make changes. A lot of people think this should be seen as a wake-up call. Other people say it's dehumanizing and we need bigger CT machines. Although they didn't say we need bigger CT machines, they just said it's dehumanizing. I would hope that if you were over 450 pounds, they would try to send you to one of those bariatric machines before they sent you to the zoo. Hopefully they have one of those in your area closer than the zoo. I don't know how that works. If you're 500 pounds, they're like, we do have a bariatric CT machine, but it's in Idaho, which is 300 miles away. The zoo is about 50 miles away, so we're sending you to the zoo. I hope that's not the case. Although personally, I don't want to have to go that far. I think I'll just go to the zoo. I'll get to see the animals while I'm there. I'm not that mad, honestly. Now, I'm just messing around. A lot of people would be super embarrassed by this. I probably wouldn't care that much, honestly. I'll get a CT scan in a zoo right now. But I can see how other people would be embarrassed by that.
There are patients who are too obese to fit inside the CT scanner of the hospital. When that happens, they get sent out to the local zoo to go inside an animal-sized CT scanner. Is this ethical? Is it moral? Let me know.
I don't think it's unethical. They need a CT scan, so they went to a machine that could accommodate them. Just because it's embarrassing, I don't think makes it unethical. If you forced them to go there and get it, even though they didn't want to, maybe.
Know what you think, because we've reached a point in our human species where 400, 500, 600 pounds is pretty common across the United States. Let me know what you think. And
well, I'm guessing that the bariatric CT machines and MRI machines are going to become a lot more common since a lot of people are living in a larger body these days.
If you know anybody who sent out a patient to the zoo,
I think it would be unethical to deny people care based on their size. I don't think it's unethical to send them to a certain piece of medical equipment that happens to be embarrassing to use.
Things they don't tell you, part 4. If you order a CT scan or MRI machine, sometimes it can't be done because of weight restriction. I actually learned this as a resident that...
Right, but what is all this stuff randomly happening on the right? I'm sorry to throw this video in here and it has this stuff going on, but here we are.
If you are over a certain weight at some hospitals, we have to send you to the zoo in order to get the scan done, or sometimes sooner.
That is wild that they have to send people to the zoo to get the scan done. But it is also interesting that this is how they make a feather on an arrow. Did you guys see that? I mean, I was listening to the CT scan story, but also look what's going on over here randomly for no reason at all.
To the zoo in order to get the scan done, or sometimes sooner.
All right. Okay, sorry, I should focus. So, yeah, sometimes people are too large for a conventional scanner and have to go to a zoo.
Another facility. Interesting, huh?
Yes, that is very interesting. And it was also interesting that they showed us how they make the little feathery thing on an arrow. Why was all that random stuff happening on the right? I don't know. I'm old. I need to learn how to focus. She was talking about how sometimes people are too large and they need to go to a zoo to get a CT scan. She learned that during her residency, so she was a doctor or a nurse or something like that. Now we're going to be taking a look at a bonus clip where a woman is talking about how she was referred to a vet to get an MRI one time.
Story time. So I thought I'd get on here and share a funny experience with you where I was laughing and everybody else was like, "Aw." So, as you all know, I get tests done. I had to be measured for an MRI machine to see if I could fit, because I'm big and obesity in America is real. I've always struggled with my weight since I was a kid. So there's that. But anyway, to get to the point, I went to my endocrinologist. And I was telling her about needing to be measured for my neurologist. And she looks at me and she says, "If you have trouble finding somewhere to get your MRI, you can try the zoo." I said, "Huh?" She said, "Yeah, elephants get MRIs at the zoo, and I've had a couple of patients go there."
Why did she have to throw in the elephants get MRIs at the zoo? What the heck?
Folks, I know I'm not as big as an elephant.
Yeah, why did she have to throw that in there? Don't worry, you'll fit. Elephants get MRIs over there. I'm not sure why you're bringing up where elephants get MRIs. I don't know what the hell that's got to do with... What are you trying to say? You'll be fine over there. They take elephants, they take camels, they take zebras. You're like, what the... Why are you naming all these wild animals and comparing them to me? Why are we doing this?
I was excited. I was like, I'm going to get to see the behind scenes of the zoo and maybe get to lay where an elephant's laid for an MRI.
I like how you have a positive attitude about that. That's great.
And then possibly, while I'm there, maybe they'll let me walk around. Not walk around because I'm disabled, but maybe they'll let me scooty-toot around and see the other animals that are there.
I like her a lot. She's got a great attitude.
Could you imagine just being behind the scenes and getting to see all that? I would love that. I love animals.
Okay, so she is not embarrassed by the situation. She's happy to go to the zoo and see all the animals. I would be pretty happy as well. I also love animals.
I am an animal person. And wouldn't it be so cool? I know it's liability that I wouldn't be able to get close to the elephants, but hear them while I'm getting my MRI done. That would be fun.
I love her. She's got a great attitude.
Anyway, I thought it was funny and I thought I'd share that because everybody that I share that with, they want me to be sad. And I'm not going to be sad. I'm big.
Don't you love it when sometimes some people are more embarrassed on your behalf than you are? They're like, "Oh my God, you must have been mortified." And you're like, "Yeah, it was pretty chill. I like elephants and whatnot. It was whatever. I honestly don't care. I saw an aardvark in there. Weren't you mortified? This must have been incredibly embarrassing." Whatever. She's chill as homie. I like her, man. Remember a moment ago I was talking about how you can't shame somebody for something that they don't feel ashamed of? Case in point. She doesn't even understand why other people are mortified. She's like, "I don't know why you guys are freaking out."
I know I'm big. I look at myself every day and say, "Gosh, girl, you're big. You need to do something." I'm working on it, but insurance is roadblocking me, and it's just tough. But everything's going to be fine because me and God's got this. I hope y'all are having a good day. Bye.
She said at the end there she was having some sort of issue with insurance, so I hope you get that straightened out and you get the care that you need. She had a really great attitude about the situation and was just laughing it off. What else can you do? Sometimes things in life happen that are so embarrassing or so bad that there's nothing you can do but laugh about it. Or you could cry. The choice is really yours. So it's good to see that she was handling that situation very well and taking it all in stride. Some other people in the comments had a different opinion and said that it was dehumanizing. Other people said that it should be a wake-up call, so we had a mixed bag there. Personally, if I can't fit into a standard MRI or CT machine, and I have all of these various ailments, I might start to connect the dots. Since a lot of people are living in a larger body these days, I'm guessing we're going to see more and more of those bariatric CT and MRI machines, so hopefully we won't have this situation happening too frequently in the future. But what do you think? Leave a comment below. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.